A belly dancing essay. Chapter 1. Belly dancing comes from the ancient fertility rites. A history of belly dancing. Belly dancing has had a long history in the Middle East. Several Greek and Roman sources including Juvenal and Martial describe dancers from Asia Minor and Spain using undulating movements, playing castanets, and sinking to the floor with quivering thighs. In the 18th and 19th centuries, European travelers in the Middle East such as Edward Lane and Flaubert wrote of the dancers they saw there, including the Awalim and Gawazi of Egypt. Andrew Hammond notes that practitioners of the art form agree that belly dance is lodged in Egyptian culture. HHE states, the Greek historian Herodotus related the remarkable ability of Egyptians to create for themselves spontaneous fun, singing, clapping and dancing in boats on the Nile during numerous religious festivals. Belly dance emerged from an atmosphere of fun. The Arab governments had belly dancing as part of their courtly entertainment. Belly dancers and singers were sent from all parts of their empires to entertain the elites. During the era of slavery in the Muslim world, these dancers and singers were often slaves. No free woman could perform in public due to the Islamic sex segregation, but female slaves were trained to entertain male guests in singing, dancing, massage, etc. Female slaves were given as gifts between men. In the Ottoman Empire, belly dance was performed by women and later, by boys, in the Sultan's palace. Despite belly dance commonly being known in the West as Arabic dance or Middle Eastern dance, much of the modern Arab world and Islamic Middle East considers it a highly disreputable art form. In certain regions it is even outlawed. Belly dance remains common in Egypt, where it has two distinct social contexts, as a folk or social dance. As a social dance, belly dance, also called Raqs Baladi or Raqs Shabi in this context, is performed at celebrations and social gatherings by ordinary people, male and female, young and old, in their ordinary clothes. In more conservative or traditional societies, these events may be gender segregated, with separate parties where men and women dance separately. Historically, professional dance performers were the Awalim, primarily musicians and poets, Gawazi. The Mazen sisters may have been the last authentic performers of Gawazi dance in Egypt, with Kuriya Mazen teaching and performing as of 2020. Throughout the Middle East and the Arab diaspora, belly dancing is closely associated with Arabic music that is modern classical, known as al-jadid. Egyptian belly dancers danced in the casinos and nightclubs in the 1920s and 30s. From there, they started to appear in movies which gave them a worldwide reputation as belly dancer archetypes or characters, the sexy free young Arabian woman. Belly dancing caught on worldwide since the 1930s. American-born Layla Taj is a non-native Egyptian belly dancer who has performed in Cairo and the Sinai resorts. At the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, Sol Bloom, the fair's entertainment director, brought the dance in which he called danse du ventre, the name used by the French in Algeria. In his memoirs, Bloom states, when the public learned that the literal translation was belly dance, they delightedly concluded that it must be salacious and immoral. Dancers from several Middle Eastern and North African countries performed at the fair, including Syria, Turkey and Algeria, but it was the dancers in the Egyptian theatre of the street in the Cairo exhibit who gained the most notoriety. The dancers were uncorseted and gyrated their hips, which was shocking to Victorian sensibilities. There were no soloists, but it is claimed that a dancer nicknamed Little Egypt stole the show. Some claim the dancer was Farida Mazar Spiropoulos, but this fact is disputed. The popularity of these dancers subsequently spawned dozens of imitators, many of whom claimed to be from the original troupe. Victorian society continued to be affronted by the dance, and dancers were sometimes arrested and fined. The dance was nicknamed the Hoochie Coochie, or the Shimmy and Shake. A short film, Fatima's Dance, was widely distributed in the Nickelodeon theaters. It drew criticism for its immodest dancing and was eventually censored. Belly dance drew men in droves to burlesque theaters and to carnival and circus lots. Thomas Edison made several films of dancers in the 1890s. These included a Turkish dance and Chrissy Sheridan in 1897 and Princess Raja from 1904, which features a dancer playing zills, doing floor work and balancing a chair in her teeth. Hollywood began producing films such as The Sheik, Cleopatra, and Salome, to capitalize on Western fantasies of the Orient. When immigrants from Arab states began to arrive in New York in the 1930s, dancers started to perform in nightclubs and restaurants. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, many dancers began teaching. Middle Eastern or Eastern bands took dancers with them on tour, which helped spark interest in the dance. A belly dancing SA1. Belly dance aka Raqs Sharqi is a Middle Eastern dance which features movements of the hips and torso. Belly dancing has evolved to take different forms by country and region, both in costume and dance style. Egyptian-style belly dancing seems to be the default mainstream way belly dance and is perceived as an archetype, the cute scantily clad young woman dancing in a sexy way. Belly dancing is popular across the globe, taught in many schools of dance. Belly dance is a translation of the French term danse du ventre. The name first appeared in 1864 in a review of the Orientalist painting The Dance of the Almeh by Jean-Léon Gérôme. The first known use of the term belly dance in English is found in the writing of Charles James Wills in 1883. Raqs Sharqi means Eastern dance or dance of the Orient. It is a broad term that includes forms of belly dance such as Raqs Baladi, Saidi, Gawazi, and Awalim. The informal, social form of the dance is known as Raqs Baladi, dance of the country or folk dance, in Egyptian Arabic. Belly dance is primarily a torso-driven dance, with an emphasis on articulations of the hips. The focus of the dance is on isolations of the torso muscles, rather than on movements of the limbs. As a folk dance, there is no universal naming scheme for belly dance movements. Many dancers and dance schools have developed their own naming schemes, but none of these is universally recognized. The following attempt at categorization reflects the most common naming conventions. Percussive, staccato movements, most commonly of the hips, used to punctuate the music or accent a beat. Lifts or drops of the hips, chest or rib cage, shoulder accents, hip rocks, hits and twists. Fluid, flowing, sinuous movements in which the body is in continuous motion, used to interpret melodic lines and lyrical sections in the music, or modulated to express complex instrumental improvisations. These movements require a great deal of abdominal muscle control. Typical movements include horizontal and vertical figures of 8 or infinity loop with the hips, horizontal or tilting hip circles and undulations of the hips and abdomen. These basic shapes may be varied, combined, and embellished to create an infinite variety of complex, textured movements. Shimmies, shivers and vibrations, small, fast, continuous movements of the hips or rib cage, which create an impression of texture and depth of movement. Shimmies are commonly layered over other movements and are often used to interpret roles on the tabla or reek or fast strumming of the oud or kanun. There are many types of shimmy, varying in size and method of generation. Some common shimmies include relaxed, up and down hip shimmies, straight-legged knee-driven shimmies, fast, tiny hip vibrations, twisting hip shimmies, bouncing earthquake shimmies and relaxed shoulder or rib cage shimmies. In addition to these torso movements, dancers in many styles will use level changes, traveling steps, turns and spins. The arms are used to frame and accentuate movements of the hips, for dramatic gestures and to create beautiful lines and shapes with the body. Other movements may be used as occasional accents, such as low kicks and arabesques, back bends and head tosses. A belly dancing SA2. Belly dance is referred to in Turkey as Oriental dance, or simply Oriental literally meaning Orient. Many professional dancers and musicians in Turkey continue to be of Romani heritage. Belly dance today is a dance used by various artists like the Colombian singer Shakira with her songs Whenever Wherever, Ojo Saucy and Hips Don't Lie. Through American cabaret, AMCAB, belly dancing has developed its own distinctive style, using props and encouraging audience interaction. In 1987, a distinctively American style of group improvisational dance, American Tribal Style Belly Dance, ATS, was created, representing a major departure from the dance's cultural origins. A unique and wholly modern style, it makes use of steps from existing cultural dance styles, including those from India, the Middle East and Africa. Many forms of tribal fusion belly dance have developed, appropriating elements from many other dance and music styles including flamenco, ballet, burlesque, hula hoop and even hip-hop. Gothic belly dance is a style which incorporates elements from goth subculture. Continuing from this tradition is the emergence of touring theatrical belly dance productions such as Belly Dance Evolution produced by Gilena Carlano, Invaders of the Heart produced by Myra Crean amongst others. The first wave of interest in belly dancing in Australia was during the late 1970s to 1980s with the influx of migrants and refugees escaping troubles in the Middle East, including Lebanese Jamal Zireka. These immigrants created a social scene including numerous Lebanese and Turkish restaurants, providing employment for belly dancers. Rosita A. Haley is widely regarded as the mother of Australian belly dance, training early dance pioneers such as Amara Eid and Terez Kidranzik. Belly dance has now spread across the country, with belly dance communities in every capital city and many regional centres. Estelle Asmodel was probably the first transgender belly dancer in Australia. She travelled extensively throughout Asia and Japan working as a belly dancer during the 1980s through to the late 1990s. She also starred in the Australian-produced and distributed film 53. The Enchanted Dance 54. Which sold internationally as well. During the 1970s and 1980s, there was a thriving Arabic club scene in London, with live Arabic music and belly dancing. Several international belly dance festivals are held in Britain such as the International Belly Dance Congress, the London Belly Dance Festival and Mehma Dance Festival. Some professional belly dancers include Badia Masabni, Dalila, Didamnul, Dina Talat, Fifi Abdu, Layla Taj, Azal Turkbaz, Nadia Gamal, Nagwe Fuad, Nesrin Topkub, Naima Akef, Samaya Gamal, Seema Yildiz, Serena Wilson, Sohair Zaki, Tahaya Karyaka, Zianat Olwai. The number of male belly dancers has increased in recent years. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/belly_dance. angcnaman.weebly.com/history-of-belly-dance.html